this is going to be a reading for the sign of Aries. So Aries, what's shaking and baking? What's up with it? Anyway, let's just see what we got going on for y'all. I forgot to shuffle these. But I shuffled it this time. All right, so let's put this up. What you guys need to know. All right, prisoner. All right, so someone who felt like you guys should have fitted in a certain box or a certain way of being is now starting to rethink that. So this is somebody now who wants to give you guys an out or wants to like recognize your individuality or recognizes how maybe they tried to conform or tried to get you to conform. Maybe they're recognizing how they maybe boxed you in at one point. You know what I mean? Like didn't allow you to be yourself. Now they're wanting to give you recognition for like maybe, like I said, they appreciate you for as you are. So it could be an Aquarius, could be a Pisces. So it's somebody who gave you guys empty promises, but it was really just lust. So it's maybe somebody who like maybe portrayed that this connection was going to be something, but it was really just lust. But you guys have either had some type of promotion, or this is like you've either like evolved in a way at some point, you know what I mean? Because now they're wanting to promote the relationship between y'all, or like at least take it more seriously, invest a lot more because of your good efforts. Some of y'all could be also getting extra cash or extra like pay, extra finances from or extra assistance from people. And these could be people who at one time just kind of like promised you that they would do XYZ but didn't. I guess they're going to be following through with that now. All right, yeah, you got an offer coming. So this could be a peace offering, or this could just be like finances, more money coming your way. All right, so yeah, it says want you back. I told you. So somebody's going to be trying to give an offer to try to get you back into their life or have you back. They're stalking you guys right now. It's somebody who's obsessed about where the relationship could go now. You know what I mean? So it's maybe somebody who, again, is finding you guys more appealing. They want a relationship. They find you to be a lot more attractive, a lot more charming, a lot more charismatic. Maybe it's because of like in hindsight, like maybe this is somebody who just misses you. Like, maybe as they spend time alone and they kind of like, damn, Aries would have been good for a time like this. I remember when me and Aries did this, or I remember whenever Aries showed up in this light, like, so they're going to be trying to conform to what you want them to be shortly. That's what's going on. So like the dynamic may have changed. All right. So now you may be the one that's like giving like meaningless promises or saying what just needs to be said just to kind of like, yeah, we got ninth house. Ninth house is a new philosophy or a new way of seeing the world with yourself involved. But it also could mean that you guys are, you guys are gonna be feeling a lot more empowered just to kind of do as you please. So this may be we're gonna call it a taboo relationship because we got Lilith here. But even if it's not taboo, it's a relationship that's gonna basically make you feel empowered to like travel, to roam, to explore, to learn. You know what I mean? To question what you've always done. Maybe you've done this to them. Maybe you've made them question what they've always thought to be true, what they always imagine as like reality. And now they're starting to think in hindsight, like, wow, you did say stuff like this, or wow, I remember hearing you say, I remember hearing or seeing you do that like before. And I didn't think like what you were doing was making sense. But now as I'm looking at it, I see the bigger picture. So suddenly people are going to start seeing a bigger picture about either the way that you live. So like your lifestyle may change. It may be one that makes you feel more empowered. You're able to travel. You're able to like explore. You're able to discover new things about yourself and about the world at large. So people may start to view your perspective as like valid. You know what I mean? Where at one time they wanted you to conform to maybe how things have always been done. Now they're starting to rethink themselves because of how you are maybe like existing in the world. And it's causing them to become like, I was gonna say shockingly obsessed or shockingly like they're like doing all this stalking and all this watching and all this. I won't even say maneuvering, you know what I mean? So like they may be trying to like maneuver to be in your presence or in like your view in some way. All right. So it could be a Sag, could be Aquarius, could be a Pisces. So this is somebody who's been watching you guys for a minute and they see your hard work or your good efforts and they want to give you congratulations. So, but they're afraid to approach you right now. So this is somebody who's afraid of being rejected. I seen that Four of Wands in reverse. So somebody who maybe you guys had like a one night stand with, or you guys had an experience that was like short lived, which could sometimes be like we just communicated, we just was flirting, maybe we were just texting, but it didn't go anywhere. All right, could be a Libra, could be a Virgo, could be a Gemini, could be a Sag, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Cancer, or Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So this is some of y'all that y'all have interacted with before in the past. They were too nitpicky or too like perfectionistic about like what they expected. This could in terms of like physical body. This could be in appearance. This could be in the way that you live or the way way that you, I don't know, just conduct yourself in the world. This person may have felt like it was inadequate or just felt like it wouldn't add up to anything for us to be like dealing with each other, or they just didn't see the benefit of it in the past. Now they're feeling like it's a missed opportunity and they're feeling left behind or overlooked by you. So they're kind of feeling like you guys are either meeting new people, interacting with more people on a regular, or you guys are just like there's circumstance, what do you call it, external circumstances outside of like whatever you guys got going on that are keeping you guys from like building intimacy, building trust, building a friendship, getting closer. So for some of y'all, this person may have like seemed indifferent at one time or seemed to like expect a lot from you at one time, or expected maybe like perfection, or expected maybe a certain look, a certain aesthetic, or a certain way that you needed to like perform in order for them to want to add value or increase the like quality of life for the connection. You know what I mean? But anyway, this person is now thinking about it in hindsight. You know what I mean? They could have been getting advice from other people, other friends. Maybe there was gossip. Maybe there's rumors. Maybe there's just, I don't know. Sometimes it could just be like, you know, family, friends. Sometimes you'd be like, it could even be social media. Like, you know how on social media, people be like, don't do this with guys. Don't do this with girls. Men are bad. Women are bad. If a woman does this, if a man does this, sometimes it could be that type of vibe. Or if like a friend does this, or somebody does this, then they aren't doing it right. Because some of y'all, this maybe like entails with like personal training, or entails with like learning something, a subject of study that you're into, that you may be like indulging into. Some of y'all, they may have felt like you guys weren't that adequate, or weren't that skilled, or weren't that great at it. They may have viewed you in a certain light, but now they're starting to recognize you guys for either having skill or recognizing you guys for having talent. You guys have like outgrown your imposter syndrome, or outgrown this self-doubt where you believe that maybe you need to, where you need to, where you need to improve to be liked, or you need to like succeed in some certain way to be appreciated and valued. You guys may have changed that value system or that belief system about yourself, where now you feel like you're always deserving, because it gives more of a Sagittarian energy where I feel like I always deserve these experiences. I feel like people, when they interact with me, they always need to bring something of value, or they always need to do something that is useful for me. So now they're figuring out, I'm not gonna say they're figuring it out, but they're undecided about like how they can even approach you, or how they can even get things off the ground between y'all. There's maybe seeing you guys now as like a fetish, or they may be seeing you guys now as like more sexually liberated, which means that you maybe you're more comfortable expressing, showing your body. Maybe you are kind of comfortable having sex, like some, you know, it could be like maybe on your own terms. Maybe you have your own type of romantic dynamics that maybe don't, let's say, fit traditionally, but because we got Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius could be innovative, and it can also be futuristic, like Aquarius. So you may be like dating or dealing with people who are a little bit like outside of your usual or outside of your norm. You know what I mean? They may have a lot of sexual appeal to them, but they could also, I don't know, they kind of represent a new philosophy that you're taking on, or a new way of living that you're taking on. So even if these are friends, these are people who are like taking on a new form, or a new version of who you become. What else you need to know? There's maybe somebody that takes a lot of selfies, takes a lot of pictures. You deal with public speakers, or dealing with like orators or rappers or people like that, or you're going to be hearing a lot of communication from people like that. People who, like I said, once overlooked you, or people who felt like, I don't really need this in my life. I don't know if I want this type of connection, or I don't know if I need you as an assistant, or I don't know if I want you working with me, or I don't know if I really want to work with you. Any of that type of situation. They're going to invite you guys to like interact with them, or hang out with them, or be around them a lot more often, a lot more consistently. So they're going to try to probably find ways for you to like, hey, yo, you want to work on this, or yo, you want to do this. I see you're doing this. So maybe they're keeping up with your time, keeping up with your routine, keeping up with like your schedule, or just keeping up with the way that you do stuff. Like they may kind of act like they don't see it, but they see it. You know what I mean? And there could be like talks about it where people who are, like I said, maybe on the fence about you at one time, are now like feeling like this is the time to make a change, or this is a time to like interact with her or him before it be too late. Like they kind of know where you're going. So you may also have issues like authority figures. They may not feel like they have control over you guys anymore. They may not feel like they have as much say so as you anymore, or may not feel like they have as much pull over you anymore. So that might be it too. Like people are feeling like you're now starting to express your shadow side, or starting to express a part of yourself that you were afraid to. Or if you haven't done this yet, this is probably the pattern that you're about to lead into, where you're going to start recognizing like I'm capable of doing whatever I want to do when I feel like it. I have the ability. I don't feel inadequate anymore. You know what I mean? Things don't have to turn out exactly how I expect them to be, but I'll at least get further than where I was before. So you may start taking on that philosophy, where like as long as I put some effort in and whatever results I get from it, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? And you guys will also stop taking like that bare minimum from people, or taking the bare minimum when it comes to, let's say, finances, money. You guys may start expecting more from people because you guys are about to get a promotion or a raise, which would just mean that people are spending more with you, or people are now investing more into relationships with you or into connections with you, taking on your philosophies or taking on your way of existing in the world, because they feel like it makes a difference and it actually gives a better, like a better result. I'm gonna say better results. You know what I mean? Where maybe they don't have to work as hard. Maybe they don't have to be as critical on themselves or critical about the details. So maybe it's like that. Maybe you're becoming a teacher in that light where you're showing people how to like improve the quality of life around them by just doing as they feel fit to do or they see fit to do. You know what I mean? So they could be just, maybe learning under you. That might be it too. Maybe having a lot more, like maybe you're interacting with students, teachers, lawyers, like kind of like upper echelon people who are like, they're difference makers, change makers. Anyway, it says healing. So listen to your heart. Love is the greatest healer. It has the capacity to balance and heal your emotions, thoughts, and perceptions, which in turn will heal you physically. Your angels are here with you and will help dissolve your fears. Trust in the power of love to guide you. This card is confirmation that healing is occurring right now. For real, I just felt like I was all over the place. But anyway, we got Aquarius, we got Pisces, Sag, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sag, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Virgo, Gemini, Virgo, Libra, Cancer. All right. So Aries, that was y'all reading. Thanks for being here, y'all. Thanks for the support. Y'all take it easy today. Don't let them work you too hard. Ain't about nothing. All right, y'all. I'm finna get loose. I'm gone.